Okay, so here we are. It's kind of late, but I needed to get this done. Putting it off, and we know what happens when the podcast gets put off. Bad things happen. So we had to make sure that didn't happen again. Got to get the chat going here. Live chat. Pop out. Anytime someone has a bright idea, like, hey, I should take this apart and work on it right before I need to use it, don't let them do it. It's a bad idea. That's exactly what happened to me. Like, oh, no big deal. I can do a couple things on my computer here. Quick, easy work. Won't be no thing at all. And boy, let me tell you, it was the worst thing ever. Added a couple of fans. Added a little bit of a storage device and a few things. And what should have been an hour job took, oh my God, what was it? 4? But nonetheless, we're here with the podcast. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Do our usual. Let everybody kind of get filed in here before we get too carried away with things. It's late, so I don't expect like a huge crowd. Never expect a big crowd anyway, but yeah, hang on. Okay, there you are, my dear. Just for your assurance. Eric says I'm missing out on the podcast at a summer pro-am basketball game. Hey, that's a good way to spend your time away from the podcast. I'll allow it. How's that? Looking forward to your bat getting here so we can get some swings in on that thing. Loved your comment, by the way. You saying H-Dog needs to get some better shoes. What was an investment? Those shoes? Oh, dear. They're already missing an eyeball. Oh, no. He's just saying. He heard somebody else say that. That's the only reason he's saying. He says they're a purchase, not an investment. Or, sorry, they're an investment, not a purchase. So, yeah, Q, late. Oh, man, that's all messed up. God knows where that's going to be pointing when I turn it back on. Oh, it's not bad. Yeah, Q, late podcast. Like I said, a little bit in the intro there. I was doing some work to this computer. Quentin saw the picture. I had old dude absolutely torn apart. Had old dude absolutely just destroyed and torn apart. So finally got it back together, and I wanted to get this done. I did have some stuff we do need to talk about real quick. Jordan says someone in here talking about shoes. Oh, Gabe is here. Okay. I see what's going on. Says you left me here with Q all night. I hate you for that. Well, you know what? That's fine. I mean, if you hate life bad enough, you could just jump in the Discord right now. I'm just saying. You tell me. You got to let me know because I don't have Discord open. So I do have a handful of stuff I want to talk about tonight, just real quick. It's going to be maybe 40-ish minutes. Doing the overtime grind. So it won't be too wild and out of control. But I do want to talk about this Easton Tantrum and some of the rumors, kind of dispelling some of those. And like one of the things that gets me with some of that stuff is like the things that people will believe. They just believe anything they read and see and hear. It's just kind of wild to me. I'm not going to get too far into it till Another 5 minutes here. We'll give everybody a chance to get filed in here. What? Oh. Q says the guy in the bush got the dub. Oh, geez. Oh, he's talking to Gabe. Okay. Yeah, I should have been playing Fortnite tonight. Plan was podcast and Fortnite. But instead it's work on a computer all night and then podcast and then bed. Because we hate life. Let's do a quick count real quick. I do want to see. I never got a final tally. Snacks just went live, actually. Working on the computer took a little bit longer than I anticipated, finishing some stuff up. So we got to go back and we got to look here. The goal for last month was 20 uploads, whether it be full videos or shorts. Yes, I did, Snacks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh my gosh, no. 17, 18. 18! Womp womp. All right, we'll do 20 this month. How about that? That was really kind of crazy to me. That sucks. I guess I could cheat and say these 4 conference games would count as part of the 20, right? So got 18 in. Man, it felt like I did daily uploads. So it's kind of crazy, but it was a lot of fun. The channel did really well. I'll say that. It's a lot of traffic on the channel. I haven't had something like that in quite a while. So that was a nice little change of pace there. And still have plenty of content to post and all kinds of good stuff coming too. I'm probably going to try and get a 2-piece Tantrum on the way. Just for comparison's sake, I've heard a lot of people say, trusted people in sources, say that the 2 pieces aren't as good as the 1 piece. So we'll see what's up with that. What I would like to do, honestly, is get a 2-piece and then put it through the same treatment that we put this one through, the 1 piece, just to see, like what is the difference if there is one. Q says, let's do it. I'll buy another bat. What do we need, Drew? Oh, get yourself a 2-piece Tantrum, pal. We can do it. We can get it going. Played the Show Me games last weekend. First tournament outing in quite a while. Didn't go as expected. But I'm going to tell you something. We had a good time. I have definitely made the realization as well that I'm just to the point with things that winning is not everything. It's just not. There was a time and a place where, for me, it was definitely like just foot on the gas all the time. You got to win no matter what, win at all costs. But I think I'm just kind of over that. Really, I am. Because I spent the whole week looking forward to taking the field with a bunch of guys that combined have maybe played 20 games on the year, and I didn't even care. Got the podcast posted on the old Facebooks here. Let's see, because I got the Tantrum in the title here. So I tell you what, the Tantrum has just set this channel on fire. It's going to hit 6,000 views probably tomorrow. Like, I don't know if it was necessarily the clickbait title or what it was, but it's doing really well. Oh, Gabe says he's waiting on me. All right, give me just a second, Gabe. Jeff Plant wants to know when the next pitching video is coming out. So I'm trying to gather up some game footage. And then I'm going to do kind of the same format that I did with this last video. We're going to talk about some things that I do and some tips and tricks and that kind of thing. And then what I want to do is go over me pitching some at-bats that, like, what was the expected outcome? Did I get my expected outcome? Because there's a couple of pretty interesting ones in there. Because once you get to a certain point, you got to start thinking about, Like, is it okay to walk somebody? Like, when do you, when can you, when don't you want no part of those problems? That kind of thing. Let's see. Discord. Oh, geez. Gabe, we might be in trouble. I have to install updates. Snack says, use the rocket that hit off of me to the right center fielder. Yeah, we're not using that one. That was not a desired outcome. So let's see. Why is this so bright? Oh. Stand by, Gabe. Okay, check. Check. Gabe says, is it okay to walk someone in a charity tournament? Absolutely not. Gabe, I'm trying to connect. I don't know why it's not. I don't know what we got going on here. This is what we get for trying to do it on the fly. Might just have to nix the idea. Okay. Yeah, we'll plan better next time. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Yeah. Is it okay to walk the first batter of every game? Q, what the hell? Asking for a friend. Did I do that? I might have. I didn't pitch very well in the first couple of games. Jeff says, nice. What's your opinion on the weeknight ace backspin centered pitching series? No. I'm not actually. I'll have to check that out. Maybe drop a link here or send it to me on like Facebook or Instagram or something so I can check that out. I'm guilty of like living under a rock at times when it comes to trying to keep up with others' content. I have a select handful of stuff that I do follow, and I do keep track of those, keep up with those pretty well. May not comment on a lot of stuff just because I don't want to miss a response. I've noticed that I find myself doing that. So I try and like tiptoe my way around, but I do catch quite a bit of content. So Snacks is off the rip here. Let's talk about the Tantrum, and that's what everybody's here for. So let's talk about the Easton Tantrum for a minute. So a couple of things I want to discuss kind of regarding that bat and that situation. The bigger one here, I think, being the fact that everybody is just so consumed in the idea that technology's been stolen from another company, or these things are going to get banned, or it's all about money, or I don't have the answers to. Let me rephrase that. I don't have the I'm trying to choose my words wisely here, but I'm just going to have to just spit it out. So I don't have the 100% truth answer. I have my speculation based off of honestly, just logic from kind of being around this stuff and doing this stuff and talking to people, especially when stuff like this comes up. And sometimes people just believe everything they read and don't really like stop and think and think about the facts. Like one of the things was the Tantrum is using the combat tech. Dude, Combat was bought out by Performance Sports Group at the time, which I believe is who owned Easton, if I could be wrong. Pretty sure that's right. Whatever the name of the company was, but they were bought out by them in late 2016, closed the doors 2017. Fireflex technology came out the next year. But what people don't like kind of stop and realize is, I'm going somewhere with this, so follow me. The Black Helmer Flex came out at the end of 2016. They didn't just drop a bat out of the sky, or didn't say, hey, make me a bat. The bat had to go through testing. They designed the bat. They put all the R&D into the bat, and then had to send it off for testing. So it's not like they just woke up one day and said, hey, give me a combat barrel. I'm going to throw this Easton handle on it, and then we're going to make 1,000 of them. That's not what happened. But that was 2016. And, you know, there's people saying, oh, well, I heard this Tantrum uses the combat tech. So in 2016, you're telling me they already had technology for 240s? Combats couldn't hardly hold compression anyway. And yes, I understand that this one didn't. But don't you think if they had the technology that they would have used it? It's not that they theoretically didn't have it. But just because there's two brands under one roof doesn't mean they use the same everything. There's people saying mican technology. Well, I'm going to tell you something. The only micans that are really, honestly, worth a damn, in my opinion, are the Freak 23 and the Freak 9R. Didn't feel like or sound like either one of those. Then there's people saying, everybody had to out the technology they were using, and this is a direct copy of the Juno technology, and blah, 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 blah. No. There's patents for those things. I mean, that's should be kind of another thing that's logic, right? Let's see. I had one guy just absolutely go off. I'm going to make a separate video about this. But he's basically just, I mean, absolutely losing his mind that, you know, people are just like, oh, make a bat that breaks in fast, make a bat that breaks in fast. Well, now that breaks in too fast, people are mad. Well, I've seen this guy in a few different videos just being an absolute freaking troll, and he always just puts this one big rant and then just walks out. And based on his username, you can go to the video and see exactly what I'm talking about too, if you want to go check the video out after the podcast. Based on his username, he's clearly using some kind of burner account because he's too much of a fucking chicken to want to like put himself out there. I understand that like everybody's got usernames on here, but if you're gonna say some stuff like that, let's hear you say it. Let's see you say it with a name. Give me something I can, you know, follow back on and somebody to talk to. And the one thing I'll give him is people are definitely upset with the Suncoast thing. Like he said, but no one here is mad about the Suncoast for literally changing their whole design and screwing over every last customer. If your bat fails compression in the wrapper, send it back to Easton, they'll give you another one. I mean, who said that Suncoast wouldn't do that? I mean, that's part of honoring a warranty, right? I think, you know, he's kind of missing the fact of Suncoast is kind of putting the screws to everybody right now. When their bats got reinstated, when the Junos got reinstated, the Suncoast were also tested, and basically U-Trip's testing facility said, yo, these things didn't pass our testing. And according to the story we got from basically whoever was affiliated with Suncoast, was basically saying, hey, look, we were there when the testing was done, and we disagree with the results. We feel like this should pass. So now it's this big back and forth, and because Suncoast has recently released a bunch of new models, but what are they going to do to take care of the people that bought all these bats that can't use them anymore? I don't know legality-wise if there's anything that they have to do, but they're definitely screwing over a lot of people. And I'm not saying that Easton wouldn't make something like this right. If this happens, let's say the Tantrums get banned, who knows? But it's all just speculation. Everybody's saying stolen technology, stolen technology. You know, they I hope these bats get banned. You know, I hope they get the Suncoast treatment. I mean, listen, here's the deal. At the end of the day, I don't quite understand what the Suncoast thing is about either. I feel like it's got to have something to do also with the fact that their one-piece bats passed. And personally, in my opinion, I feel like the one-piece bats are better than the two-piece bats. I really do. And it was a specific handle that they weren't allowed to use. And obviously they changed up the barrel design too when they came out with the new competitive edge and a couple of the newer ones that they've came out with. But there's got to be more that meets the eye that we just don't know about. And whether it's we haven't been informed or we just don't know, I'm not sure. But there's a lot more to that than I feel like that we know about. But compression-wise, everybody's freaking out about them failing and passing, whatever else. It doesn't matter, guys. I said it in the video, and I kind of just brushed over it real quick. But just like I said, if 5,000 views on that video, I mean, how many of those people actually have their bats tested? And I'm not talking once a year. I'm not talking, you know, oh, well, I play this one tournament, and they test. Because you can buy it, take the wrapper off of it, test it, and use it. But the people that are testing every weekend or testing, you know, every other weekend or testing on a more regular basis than what the average league player would be doing, it definitely makes a difference. Or if you're playing at the E, C, or D, or E, D, or C level, even a little bit of, B softball as well, it doesn't matter if the damn thing passes compression. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Because I promise you, why is everybody freaking out about that bat passing compression when, go back 5 years ago, show me a guy that didn't have a failing bat in his bag. You know, because there's this isn't a shot at John, because he said something in the video about like he doesn't even take bats to league night that fail compression anymore. So this is not a shot at him. But are you trying to tell me that if you think you know a bat doesn't fail compression, you're just gonna take it with you, but when it fails, you're just gonna, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna sell this thing because it fails compression, and I'm not gonna use it because I know it's illegal. Illegal based on what? Like, there are standards set in place for that bat to pass. It passed those standards when it was manufactured. When you get it and you start hitting it and you play in your league and your league doesn't test you, your tournament doesn't test, it's got everything it needs because it's got the stamp, and it had to have the stamp from passing the test in the factory. It's done what it needed to do. The compression does not matter. I just don't understand it. And it's the guy standing on their high hill saying, oh, well, you know, I hope these fail, and Suncoast this and Easton that and Juno that. When the 220 Micans and the 220 Eastons were a thing, I guarantee you 95% of those dudes were swinging an Easton, a Mican, or a Worth that was testing 180, and they swung it all year long. So why are they so worried about a bat failing now? It's just ridiculous. I think this person that made this comment on the video did maybe kind of misunderstand where I was going with it, and maybe my thumbnail, my video kind of would kind of debate you into thinking like, oh my God, this is a huge problem. But I said it in the video, and I'm saying it right now, and I'll keep saying it. It doesn't matter for 95% of the people that watch that video. It just doesn't. Because odds are, at the end of the day, if you're playing at a level where testing matters enough to you that you have to think about stuff like that, you're not watching these videos to figure out what bat to use. You know what bat to use, or your sponsor is going to tell you what bat to use. So you don't give a damn about these reviews. But for the rest of us, the other 95% of us, the compression doesn't matter. Compression is a good way of figuring out how fast the bat breaks in, how fast it breaks down, where's it at when it starts, how much BP does it need. Can show you a little bit of idea, give you some ideas of durability too. But at the end of the day, it does not matter. and it drives me nuts. Between the stolen technology claims of Worth and Juno and Combat and all this other crazy shit, and then you combine that with the people that are freaking out that it passes or fails compression, show me why it matters. Moving on. So we did have a poll on the channel. Senior guys, hopefully you did get a chance to catch said poll. Let me get to a place so we can check that out for you guys. So we held a poll, posted it on, what was today? So it was Monday. We posted it on Monday. And we got 3 options here. I think I might start doing this for some other bats too, some U-Trip bats. But trying to get more senior bat reviews in. One thing I do think we're going to kind of change gears and focus on a little bit more. And ASA Crown, please don't hate me. I think we're not necessarily going to stop reviewing ASA bats. Just our focus is going to shift more from ASA and U-Trip to senior. I guess we'll go in order. So it's going to go U-Trip. It's been U-Trip, ASA, and senior, just kind of on the side. But I think we're going to kind of dabble into going U-Trip, senior, and then whatever ASA bats might be of interest. ASA bats are kind of a hard thing to do, especially if you're acquiring said ASA bats with your own money. Then the resale market for those is not very good, and especially in a weight that I would feel good reviewing. Nobody wants a 27-ounce bat anyway these days. I mean, nobody wants a 27-ounce ASA bat. Everybody wants 24, 25, 26-ounce. And I have been on record as saying that to me, I do feel like, and I'm going to put this to the test somehow or another, that if the bat has inner barrel technology, the little bit of a lighter weight does seem to do better. I've got my theory on why, but until we can do our bro science testing, we don't know for sure. But so that's just another reason why nobody wants a 27 unless it's balanced. I feel like the 27 balanced are kind of the outlier there, and that's another thing I want to check out is light end load with a big end load versus heavier and balanced. I'll kind of get into that stuff if I get a chance to do the video. Hopefully I do. If not, maybe one day this winter I'll fire up some videos and kind of talk about what my thoughts are on that, where my head is with it. But circling back, we did a poll here just to try and figure out what the senior guys want, because we're kind of dabbling into this. I won't say completely blind, because I mean obviously we know what the good senior bats are, but we're trying to cater to the senior bat crowd here. So we put up a poll, and the poll was 2023. Jeff, I got your message. Thank you. The 2023 Mike and Mike Dill Ultra Gamer Balanced. Option 2 was the Short Porch Hat Trick One Piece 13-inch Power Barrel. And then option 3 was the 2023 Onyx Enough Said Red and Silver 13-inch Balanced. Winner of the poll with, I'm not doing the math on that, but there was 107 total votes. 42% went to the Short Porch Hat Trick, so we got ourselves one of those on the way. Big thanks to Snacks and Headbanger Sports for making that one possible. I'm really looking forward to see what the Short Porch bats are about. Who wouldn't love a bat that has the name Short Porch? I mean, come on. I mean, what's not to love there, right? So, might start doing that for some U-Trip bats too here and there, but at least for the seniors, maybe the first few seniors, we're going to do that just to kind of get an idea of what you guys want to see. There's I won't say not a lot of options, but not as many options for the U-Trip stuff. So we want to make sure we're getting stuff that the seniors want to see, I think would be the big takeaway there. And also, speaking of bats, sorry, Jeff, I'm a squirrel. I'm reading your message. But also, speaking of bats and Snacks, so you know what, I'm going to do this right now. The Flipper Aftermath that we reviewed, the 24 Aftermath, is actually for sale. Snacks looking to sell that thing for $180 shipped to your door. And I'm going to put a comment on that video right now while I'm thinking about it. And I'm going to pin it. That way if somebody's interested in that thing, they can check it out. If I can find it, there it is right there. Oh my God, you guys, I'm tired. Shh. Because the bat we filmed this video with is for sale. 180 shipped to your door. Reach out via book or and I can get you taken care of. Boom. Once it has sold, I will remove Cool. All right, got that done. Oh, let's see. Catch up with the comments here just real quick. Anthony wants to know what I think of the Pure Evil. I like it. It's going to be a little bit of a video coming on that soon. I got some tea working with it for our tournament we played in. Swung it all weekend. I say all weekend, all day. Played 3 whole games, but playing ASA State this weekend, and the plan is to swing it there too. Excuse me. Playing ASA State this weekend, the plan is to swing it there too. Have no reason not to. Let's see. Dennis, yeah, you can, just hit me up. I'm not sure if I'll get in touch with you. I'll hit you up when I get done here. I won't forget about you. Always love viewers wanting to help out the channel, get stuff going for us. Greg wants to know, what's your opinion of a guy grabbing your bat and swinging it without asking? I had a guy swing my bat and hit a decent laser in bat flips. My boy picked up as a pickup tonight. Oh, okay. Dude, I mean, you're probably not going to like my answer, but I don't care. You shouldn't either. It's a bat. It's an object meant to hit another object. I mean, sounds like you got a good bat. He hit a laser with it. He bat flipped because he liked it. I don't necessarily, of course, and maybe that's because I'm in a different perspective of things. I want people to try bats. I want people to try my bats. My bag is always open for somebody to come grab a bat out of it and swing it. Even if it's something that's in my bag and I haven't gotten out, people just know, just go get it. It's in there. You can swing it. And that goes for people on the other freaking team too, because I do not care. I don't care who swings my bats. My bats aren't like, it's not like a prized possession or anything like that. But, yeah, I don't care, and it shouldn't be a big deal. That guy's 4 hits. You're not gonna when that bat. If you swing that bat until it breaks, you're not gonna look at it. You're not gonna look at yourself and say, "Damn, those 4 hits that guy put on that bat just really screwed me over." Now, if it's something that is getting passed around, beat on by the whole team, then you do have maybe something to kind of think about there a little bit. Is this a bat that you want the absolute snot beat out of? Maybe put something out there that will last, or something that maybe it's the same bat. Get yourself a newer bat. Get yourself the same model, but less swings, and throw it out there. Good way to break it in. Or you could throw bats out to give options. But in terms of, should you care if anybody else is swinging your bat? I mean, if you think your bat's good enough that you're swinging it, don't you want to give yourself the best chance to win? So Snacks gave me a pretty good little topic here, and this is kind of wild. This is wild to me. So he says senior softball is expensive, which I've not dove down the road of yet, but NSA charges $700 for a tournament that is going to last 3 days, and it's 3 teams. How is that a thing? So just for example, one team plays Friday at 1 o'clock and then Friday at 4 o'clock on a Friday. And then Saturday they play at 10 o'clock and 11:30. And those are pool play. And then on Saturday, the 2 and 3 seed play each other at 2:30. And the winner plays the 1 seed at 4 o'clock. Then the loser of the 2 and the 3 plays the winner's bracket final at 9:30. And then the championship is on Sunday morning at 11. Like, how on earth? And it costs $700. That tournament costs $700. How on earth does that make sense? And that's not calling out the NSA director, because I'm pretty sure I know who the director of that tournament is. I have nothing against the guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. He's done a good job keeping tournaments well organized when we play in them. I do think NSA is a little steep. I remember what the entry fee was for Super Worlds the year we won that. And I honestly think that's why a lot of teams didn't show up. It was because I think it was almost $500 to register for that tournament. And $700 is a tough pill to swallow to play 3 teams over 3 days. That's just kind of a wild concept to me. Tournament fees in general, once you start getting above like $250, $300, that money's going nowhere but somebody's pocket, unless you're playing on the like state-of-the-art facility. But that's just kind of silly that like you got to save yourself some money here somewhere. Maybe you've already paid to have the facility for those 3 days. I don't really know, because I don't run enough tournaments to know like a whole lot about that. But why on earth would you do that when you could get it all done in one day? You're paying to rent the field 2 extra days, Friday and Sunday, when you could get it all done in one day. And maybe it's just a thing with not wanting the seniors to play too many games in a day. Maybe is that a possibility, Snacks? But at the end of the day, surely we can figure something out, right? Because I've seen some of the senior teams that roll around here. Do they roll deep? I'm talking almost 20 guys on some rosters. And I would be willing to bet that most of those 20 guys have a role at some point in there. Because it's summer's a grinder, and people aren't as young as they once were, unless their test levels are 800 in the mid-60s. No disrespect either. Dave's a good guy. All right, hang out, kind of chat with you guys for a minute. Then we're going to wrap up the podcast. I didn't have a whole lot tonight, but I wanted to get this thing done. So if you got questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, be sure and drop them in the chat here. Oh my God, Dennis says Arizona U-Trip is a $400 fee. That's insane. Wow. Oof. Maybe we're just lucky here in the Midwest, and maybe they know we're all poor. Y'all got money out there, right? Got to be what it is. Also, if you did catch the vlog, shout out to my camera guy, Hayden. He did a hell of a job for his first go-around. He's kind of been interested in some of the YouTube stuff. He's been a little ballpark buddy all summer long. It's been a lot of fun running around all these different tournaments and stuff, and he's always worried about who's going to be there, who's coming. Is this person going to be there? Is that person going to be there? What about Danny and Spencer? Danny and Spencer. If Danny and Spencer are there, he will drop everything and go. It's so funny. It cracks me up because he's all about it, man. Him and them damn fish flops. He's out there. We're playing a tournament on Saturday. Had a big rain delay, so we're out there playing softball, and we're in I think the third inning of this game, and like you see a police officer come over and say something to the umpire, and the umpire's like, "Everybody off the field. There's weather coming. Blah blah blah." Cops kicked us off the field. I'm like, "What? The cops kicked us off the field? What is going on?" And we're softball players. We're dumb, so we're like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna sit here and wait for the rain to pass." Start hitting some ground balls, and he's out there messing around. And we're standing around the dugout, kind of messing around because they suspended us for an hour. And you see the sky start to get black, and you feel the wind start to pick up, and the sky just keeps getting blacker and blacker and blacker. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, so the weather is coming. The rain's almost here. And then about that time, somebody in the dugout standing there, they got their phone in their hand, and they looked down, and they said, there's no power in a town like 20 minutes away. I was like, okay, so we're out of here. I told Hayden, I said, get your stuff. So we're headed to the car. And, like, we were walking through the parking lot, maybe about 200 feet from the car, and the wind picked up so bad that, like, the dust and stuff off the asphalt parking lot felt like we were just getting, like, blasted with a sand blaster. That's how hard the wind was blowing. It was insane. So it ended up raining really hard. There was a couple places that got an inch and a half of rain. They were up further north. We got the tail end of it. Up in the heart of the storm, there was a couple of towns that got an inch and a half of rain in like half an hour. So that was just wild. There was some pretty crazy weather. I kind of thought to myself at one point, like, how is there not any tornadic activity with this? But, you know, we got lucky. I'll say that. We've been bit by the tournament bug, though. We're back on the tournament grind, it feels like. Played show me games. They got ASA State this coming weekend. Then, unfortunately, not going to make Jamestown this year. Got some obligations that are going to keep me from... I don't want to obligate myself to a team and say, oh, yeah, well, I can be here this day, and this day. So, probably just going to pass. I might drop in on Friday or Saturday morning just to kind of hang out, see Ben for a little bit, and kind of nose around. Or I might even come Monday for the festivities. I don't know 100% sure yet. But not going to make Jamestown. But then we got Homers for Heroes coming up a little bit after that. And then there is the tournament at Ozzy's. I want to say, what is that? Last weekend of October usually. So that would be coming up too. I'm got bit by the tournament bug here. I haven't played a whole lot of tournament ball this year. So it's like, man, you get the wheels turning. You're getting to play and get out there and have a good time. And, like, my thing is, like I mentioned earlier, I think I'm over, like, just being the most competitive you can be. I had just as much fun. I'll full disclaimer, we went 0-3 on Saturday. Was that the plan? No, absolutely not. We did not plan to go 0-3. We had a team. We should have at least went 2-2. No doubt in my mind. But I discounted, and this is something I'm going to have to get better at as I ask more people out of retirement, is I just assumed everybody's going to be at their best. I always kind of discount the fact that people don't always take as much BP as I do. Not everybody's game ready all the time. So it was a fun weekend. Do not misunderstand me. I guarantee you we had more fun than anybody there. But to go 0-3 isn't the plan. I could show up, go 2-2, and laugh my ass off with my friends. We could all laugh at each other. And, boss can say things like, danger, objects are closer than they appear. And I'm telling you, we could have a blast. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to with these next handful of tournaments. Playing with a bunch of good friends again this weekend. And I'm going to get some game footage from that, too. Should be kind of a quick day, too. I like that, especially when it's hot outside. But I feel like I'm getting bit by the tournament bug, and I think our guy Dave is, too. Dave out here in the chat still. So he's kind of getting bit by the tournament bug, too. So I think we might get the band back together. I don't know. We'll have to see. Catching up with Chad here. Jason Case, what do you think about 6 teams for ASA State? I was thinking about the slow down. Words are hard. What do you think about the ASA State's 6 teams in D and E? So I didn't know how many teams E had, but yes, I do know that D has 6. I do believe there's a big tournament at BMAC that weekend, and then you've got what is formerly known as a Hooters tournament in Kansas City going on that same weekend. So I think that's where a lot of those teams ended up going. And it's always kind of a hard push, too, doing show me games and then ASA State back-to-back. Not a lot of people can play back-to-back weekends or scheduling-wise or obligation-wise or whatever else. So I won't say that I'm surprised, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, usually there's at least 10 or 12 teams. But at least it'll be a quick day. Are you playing? Chris King wants to know, what do people think about hitting ASA only bats with 52s in leagues that you can use any bat? So I'm a sellout. So up until here recently, I've swung my U-trip bat in ASA play because we're allowed to do that here too. I've swung my U-trip bat in ASA play and haven't thought twice about it. I've done it for years and years and years, because I've never once hit a ball and thought to myself, man, I wish I'd hit that with an ASA bat. Because ASA balls are all about how you strike them. It doesn't matter what you hit them with, per se. I mean, obviously, a composite bat's going to perform better than an Easton hammer, but a good quality composite bat, one's going to do just as well as the other. So I swung my U-trip bat for years because it's swing one bat for everything that way. The best way to be consistent is to swing one bat for everything. So that's what I did. I don't regret it at all. Wouldn't think twice about it. Like I said, never thought, man, I wish I had that one back. But I am a sellout. I'm really digging Pure's ASA technology, and they did a good job taking care of me. Bobby did a good job taking care of me with his Pure Evil. So that's probably what I'll swing for ASA play for the foreseeable future, just to get the action in with it. I also had the Jericho from Headbanger Sports, swung that for a while. I mean, why not, right? But I'm not swinging it necessarily because I feel like it's the end-all, be-all. It's just trying to promote and help out the people that are helping me. I actually even sold a couple of Jerichos just from me swinging those things in league, so that's always cool too. Let's see. Art Gutierrez wants to know, do senior bats have more pop than USSSA and ASA bats? Yes, for sure. Senior bats are top-notch at perform. A good senior bat. Now, don't misunderstand me here. A good senior bat, a top-tier senior bat, will just destroy a top-tier U-trip bat. Snacks in here talking about his melees. Oh, and the red Adidas. Yeah, let's go. Art says, you're thinking of getting the Ultra 2. Any thoughts? Make sure you can use it. A lot of places have banned the Ultra 2. And also don't overpay either. Jason says, had COVID back in late 2021. Been out since medical issues. Yeah. So I was kind of following along with that. Good to see you doing better. I hope to see you back on the field soon. I was kind of following along with that. That was kind of a scary deal there, man. Glad you made it through, and hopefully we'll see you on the field at some point or another soon, right? Dennis says, get yourself one of those Proton Monster bats. Yeah. Yeah, should have a Proton / Monster on it. Yeah, for sure. So Art says, wonder why senior bats are cheaper than U-trip if they have more pop. Because there's no warranty on a lot of them. So I personally feel like U-trip bats, part of the reason for the inflated price is, I won't say inflated, higher price is due to the fact that you're getting 2 bats if you really stop and think about it. Because if you break your bat in a year, you get another one. Senior bats, most of them don't come with warranties, would probably be the reason why, in my opinion, they're a lot cheaper. And there's probably a lot less R&D that goes into them as well, because U-trip bats have to pass a bunch of different standards, so there's a lot of time and effort that goes into making those bats than having them submitted to pass the standards. You got to pay to even have a bat certified, and then you got to think paying the engineers the time to make and test and put together stuff and everything else. You got to make that money back somewhere, so you got to make it back on the bat. So between all that stuff and then the fact that you do get a warranty on damn near every U-trip bat these days would probably be the reason why, in my opinion, they're a little bit more. Clearly not completely educated on the matter, but that's just the quick answer that I can tell you for sure. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up for the podcast here. 4:30 comes early. So I hope you enjoy the improv podcast late at night. It held 20 viewers most of the time. So that's always kind of crazy, too. I'm thinking we did a good decision making here, moving the podcast back to the main channel. I will say that for sure. Jason says, appreciate it. Oh, dude, absolutely. My summer league allowed me to have a runner so I could bat. Dude, that's awesome. And that's dude, that's what it's all about. See, that's what softball's all about. Like, to me, that's the side of softball that I'm just like completely enthralled with right now, is like getting people opportunities that they might not have had. And that's why sometimes when it comes to league and stuff like that, I try to be open-minded when you see guys out there, we'll call them tryhards. That might be the only softball they get to play. And at the same time, like, instead of going out and just like beating the brakes off somebody, maybe do something to help them out. Say, hey, why don't you guys try this? Why don't you guys try that? Did that a couple of times. Playing league in the Monday league we did in Columbia. We were definitely outgunning our competition by quite a bit. So it's, try and find things you can do to try and give back to the game a little bit. Obviously, those guys were all kind of cool with showing up, and I won't say they were okay with showing up and losing every week. But it was I put the team together thinking there was going to be some pretty good competition, because at least every night at league and at Rainbow, there's at least one or two good teams. So I'm thinking, all right, well, let me put together a team of, one, all of my buddies who happen to be pretty good at softball, and two, it's like I said, it would be the second or third good competitive team, and it turns out there was three teams. So I thought, okay, this won't be bad. And the other two teams just didn't have the experience that we had. Gosh, I'd hate to know how many years of combined experience we had on that softball team. But, you just try and find ways to give back to guys like that when they're showing up knowing they're going to lose. Give them something, Give them some tips, offer them some bats, that kind of thing. And then you got stuff like Mr. Case here. They're doing what they can to get him out there. Let him hit, get him a runner, and like he said, slowly but surely, you'll get yourself back out there, my man. I know you will. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.